8月6日はよく晴れた朝で、おはよう、今日も暑いな、そんないつも通りの朝だった。8月6日の8時15分、強烈な閃光とものすごい衝撃波が体に轟い、しばらくして見たこともない雲に上げた。想像してください。どす黒い空の下、間近な目にたまに跳ねる、燃え始める逃げ場がない下敷きになりながら、熱い音叫ぶ子を助けれんもんは置いていて、はよいでろ走り抜ける。家族を探す人、道に転がる人、子供を抱いたまま死んでる母親、水を求めて川に飛び込み、力尽き水面に浮かぶ人、想像してください。腹渡が飛び よく晴れた空に平和を願う人たちの祈りは届いてますが、今年もまた
I think this is it? I hope this is the right mic. Hold on. USB PMP sound device. Seems like the right mic. Okay, I'm gonna hope it's the right mic. So, hello! Only one person watching, which is probably me, I think. It's time to get going for this again. So, what do I have to talk about today? I don't know. I've been too busy watching the World Baseball Classic to read the news. I mean, I wish I was making that up, but I'm not. I was too busy looking up stuff for the World Baseball Classic. Oh, speaking of World Baseball Classic, I promised to start this off yesterday by telling you guys about that guy who his cheering song sounded like the opening to Back to the Future. And yeah, I looked it up, and it is. The guy is Aoki Norichika. ここで勝利を呼べ攻めろ青木のリチカ Wait, that might be a little different. Let me pull it up again. While I wait for Waterfox to load. Aoki Norichika. I fucking forgot. Aoki Norichika. Oh. Just Aoki Oen ka. Here we go. That's the actual lyrics. It was slightly different. He's not a player for the Hiroshima Carp, so I don't exactly have his song memorized. So it goes ここで勝利を呼べ行くぞ青木のリチカ攻めろ青木世界に輝くナンバーワン走れのりちか明日への扉を開けかっ飛ばせ青木 Yeah, and that's how, and then it just goes on repeat, although you don't do the Back to the Future part the second time around. So yes, that is it. Today there was no games that Japan was on, but there was a game that America was on. Yes, America started playing. First round where America was in. And they won. Their opponent, America's opponent, was Colombia, I believe. Okay, I'm sorry. I just got, apparently one of the people I know got banned from a Battlefield 4 server for saying bonsai. Wow. I mean, I can sort of see why people would do it, but I don't agree with it. It's not... He's saying too many Battlefield 4 servers go insane with racist... Bonsai isn't racist! It just means 10,000 years. I mean, depending on how you use it, it can be racist, but I don't think in most instances... I mean, there are instances where it can be racist, but most of the time it's not. Or at least I don't consider it racist. I mean, you can use it in a racist way, but that's not the fault of the word. That is the fault of the person that used it. I mean, even I scream bonsai sometimes randomly in games. Not like completely out of the blue. Usually there's like a context behind it. I mean, sure, yeah, it can be racist sometimes, but come on. Okay, so I will be probably stopping at 15 today. So, what to talk about in the news? I don't think that the bill HR 669 or S200 has gone anywhere. I think it's still in the Senate. I mean, it's still in the Foreign Relations Committee. Excuse me. House one is still in the Foreign Relations Committee. Senate one is, I believe, still in the Foreign Relations. Yeah, still in the Foreign Relations Committee. I hope it gets past. I hope it at least gets past the committee. Because come on. So yes, if you support the bill, there is a petition in the description, which I still have reservations about the exact wording of it. And if they start sending you emails after you sign the petition and you don't want them, feel free to unsubscribe. Ooh, what else is there to talk about? Oh yeah. So yesterday's World Baseball Classic game. Well, technically it's today, but technically it happened today. But it was like midnight, so I hadn't gone to sleep yet. I stayed up so I could watch the game, because that's what I do. Shut up, I don't have a problem. I just like baseball. Japan beat China 7-1. One of the places I was watching it from was a Chinese live streaming site, and boy, they were sour. Holy shit, not even 5 minutes into the game and they were already throwing racial slurs around. Like, one of the things they said was Ben. I'm probably butchering the tones for that. Actually, no, I definitely am butchering the tones for that. But you know what? Fuck it. That's probably for the better, considering these are deliberately racist terms. So yes, one of the terms they used was Ben, which basically means puny Japan. It's basically their equivalent of Jap. Another term they used was 日本鬼子. Again, I'm butchering the tones. Which literally means Japanese demon or Japanese devil. Demon is actually a term that some Chinese people use to describe the Goitsu is demons. And that's probably, I think that's a term that some Chinese use to refer to all foreigners, not just Japan, but like by adding Durban, which is Japan in Chinese, before it refers specifically to the Japanese. It's sad, actually. how quickly the chat descended into racism. I don't understand Chinese fully, but I do know enough. I do know about the racial slurs at least. And boy. That that was not pleasant. I mean, the game I loved. I actually ended up watching it from a different website that streamed the J Sports broadcast of it. And not and not really watching it from the Chinese stream, mainly because, well, yeah, the chat was just so toxic. If I don't understand the language, but I see enough racial slurs on there to where I know I don't want to be on it, that's a bad sign. Not that anything's gonna change about this. Ooh. What is there to talk about in the news? Oh yeah, Healthcare Triage finally released an analysis of the Republican healthcare plan. Ooh. I knew that I wasn't going to like it. But wow. There are a number of problems I have with it. I mean, I don't have problems. They're keeping some parts of the bill that I actually like. So they're keeping the part where children will be able to be covered under their family's plans up to the age of 26. And the other one was you cannot deny someone because of pre-existing conditions. So like those were the two big ones for me. But like because of those two big ones, there was a third important aspect of Obamacare, and that was the healthcare mandate. They're getting rid of that, and instead they're putting in a continuous coverage requirement. In other words, if you lapse in your coverage for, say, a month, I think it's a month in the bill. If you lapse in your coverage in your payments for your coverage for a month, then you are no. If you lapse in your coverage for like a month, then you are allowed to be charged 30% more for the next for a year when you start, going back to your healthcare coverage, which is a problem because in the healthcare triage video, and I trust the doctor more than I do a lot of the other analyst sites, could lead to the problem of the death spiral. I mean, they're trying to address it, but I don't think they're doing enough. Because apparently that 30% more, that part which says you can be charged 30% more for a year after you sign up for health care again, that doesn't go up with time. It just stays the same. And there is a major there's a problem. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you should be able to get healthcare for cheap," but yeah, one of the ways that you make healthcare cheap is by making it so that it's not that the only people paying for it are people who are sick. Because if that happens, then it just gets more expensive. You need people who are healthy also paying for it. because otherwise the price of insurance just goes up. It's called a death spiral. So what a death spiral is, I think I've explained this before, but I'll explain this again. What a death spiral is so healthy people who can't pay for it will drop out of healthcare for a little bit. But that means there's more sick people in there. So in order to cover the difference, the health insurance providers, they have to raise the prices, which means more people aren't able to afford health insurance. So more people drop out. They might not want to drop out, but they might have to for financial reasons with the new raised prices, which means there's even more sick people in proportion to the total number of people inside the health insurance, which means that the health insurance companies have to raise the prices again in order to keep the same profit margins, and then it's just a deadly cycle that goes on until health insurance is so expensive that no one can afford it except for the super rich. Sorry. Back of my throat is super itchy. I actually have Crystal Pepsi. So yeah, that's a thing that happened. I don't like it, but it's a thing that definitely did happen. Now, will this become law? That's actually another question, because Republicans seem to have problems unifying around this plan. Super conservative types have a lot of issues with how much of Obamacare that it leaves intact. Some moderates have issues with how much of some specific provisions that it gets rid of, like changing Medicaid to the block grant thing. That has its own issues. Again, I'm not going to try and explain it, mainly because I can't remember all the issues that it had off the top of my head. But Healthcare Triage did do a video on that, and so yeah, I'd refer you to their video. Okay. Sorry, I'm kind of focusing more on the crane part of things today than I am other things. Which, I don't know how that'll go. I mean, it could play out okay, could not play out okay. It's just there's no one other than me watching this live, so there's no one talking in the chat. And I kind of depend on the chat for interaction. Okay, so what else is there to talk about? The White House is saying it stands behind the plan that Republicans have put forward. Some people were emphasizing that it's just a draft and that amendments will be added and, all that stuff. Now, there are other issues with it that the more left-wing types have, but, I think the big ones, for me at least, are the ones that I've mentioned already. If you want to know more about the issues that Democrats have, there are probably places that will cover it way better than I possibly ever could. I'm one guy, I can only know so much. Oh, this is interesting. Apparently, Trump ordered 46 Obama-era prosecutors to resign. Which was interesting. I wasn't well, I should have expected it, even though I wasn't expecting it. That just goes to show how much that just goes to show that I don't know everything about U.S. politics. From what I understand, normally prosecutors from the previous era are allowed to continue doing their jobs until the new prosecutors get appointed. But that wasn't the case. Generally, the prosecutors are the president appoints them at the recommendation of the representatives from the state that they are supposed to, 2, 4, 5. I mean, generally speaking, prosecutors from the previous era, prosecutors change with the president, although, generally it's at the recommendation of whoever from the state, but, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised that Trump did this. I'm tempted to criticize him, but I'm not sure how to do it. I want to do it, if I want to criticize him for this, I want to have, an actual point that is solid, and I'm not sure. I don't know enough about the law to know, the law and the exact legal situation behind this and the previous precedents set by previous administrations. I don't know enough about it to be able to really say much other than it doesn't make me feel good. But just because it doesn't make me feel good, that doesn't mean that it's illegal or anything like that. So, me not feeling good because of it means literally nothing. Ooh, sorry about this video being... Yeah. I hope it's not going to be like this for the entire duration of the World Baseball Classic. Tomorrow I will be at Hawaii Tokai International College, so yeah. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. if I remember correctly. 246. Oh. I'm trying to find something else to talk about. Oh yeah, the president of South Korea was impeached. Honestly, she did not have much going for her. The scandal, the huge scandal that was in South Korea was like, yeah. Cat, what are you doing? He's playing with a bag. Like, why are you doing that, Cat? Ooh, wow. This is lonely. All alone. All by myself. Okay. Two, 4, 6, 7. Hello there, Asgris. It's dead. Yes, it's dead, Jim. Oh, wow. It took a while for someone to come on. Jesus, 42 minutes in. And how much have I forwarded? 2, 4, 6, 7, and I'm on the 8th. It's about halfway done. With the amount that I'm gonna fold today. Oh, wow. I've already covered a lot of topics when no one was here. Just so that I could try and fill in the time. Shit. I should have had more topics in mind. Okay, so after I finish this, I'm gonna switch over to my Google News tab and see if I can see anything that seems interesting. Alright. I've already went over a lot of topics from the Republican health care plan to other things. Supposedly, some people thought that Republicans called it the world's best healthcare plan, which, apparently, a Republican did submit a bill called the world's best healthcare plan, but that is not the bill. That is a different bill than the ones that Republicans are currently considering. So yeah, that's kind of an important distinction to make that some people are not making. Okay, so that is 2, 4, 6, 8. Cool. And quickly switch over. Excuse me. Oh yeah, there's a video going around right now of police trying to arrest a man, or at least telling a man that he's going to be arrested. All just for simply recording the police. It's not like one. There are a lot of videos out there of people doing stupid stuff and then getting arrested for it, but this is not one of those things. This is the other side around. The police was being stupid. And if you're wondering, like, oh, how did this guy do it? The guy was apparently an attorney. So, he knew what he was talking about. I've only seen portions of the video, not the whole thing, but apparently, police did not get the memo that it is illegal to record the police provided that you are not interfering with their duties. Which I think that provided with that you are not interfering with their duties is very, very important. From what I understand, though, the police department whom the cop belonged to has acknowledged that that was not right and has launched an internal investigation into the matter. So yeah, that one, it got resolved fairly quickly. I know cameras are like a sensitive issue when it comes to the police, but like considering the police have started wearing, some police, not all police, but some police in the United States have started wearing body cameras. I don't say it's too unreasonable to say that people, like the average Joe, should also be allowed to record police. Again, provided that you are not interfering with the officer's ability to carry out their duties. I mean, obviously, if you're just trying to use recording the police as an excuse to try and get in the way of something, like, yeah, that should not be allowed. I don't think anyone's going to dispute that. But there's a difference between using it as an excuse to try and, you know, get in police's face or something like that, and recording because you want to have a record of your interaction with the police. There's a huge difference there. Okay. Two, 4, 6, 8, 9. Apparently California's talking about daylight savings time. I mean, sorry, I live in a state that does not observe daylight savings time, and my dad's side of the family comes from a country that does not observe daylight savings time. So the entire concept of daylight savings time does not make sense to me. If it causes as much trouble as it does, I mean, the original idea was have more daylight during times of the year when theoretically it's necessary, but there's a lot has changed since then. Like, daylight savings time is a massively confusing mess. CGP Grey did a video on it, which explains it in much more detail than I could ever possibly hope to do it. So yeah, go to that video if you want to know more. I can't explain it. Daylight savings time is also a massive pain in the ass to code into programs. So most of the time, of course, I think there are automated systems in place that people can use to, you know, automatically detect whether or not daylight savings time should be, blah blah blah. Computers can do it automatically, provided that you have the right programs. Although writing said program is a pain in the ass. Tom Scott also did a video on why daylight savings time is a pain in the ass, specifically when it comes to programming. So for those of you who are interested in computers and programming and that kind of stuff, check that video out. I don't know if it's on the Tom Scott channel or if it's on the Computer File channel. It's on one of the two. Excuse me for a moment. Oh. There we go. What? Oh, you're kidding me, right? believe this is number 10. I'm gonna have to count that again. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yes. What else is there? Oh, there's a thing on the gun debate that I don't want to get into right now. I just there was like I just talked about guns. Not on the stream. There was a chat that I talked about gun control and stuff on, and I don't feel like doing it again. Sorry for those of you who want me to talk about it, if there are any. Oh, something that matters to me. Apparently there was a plan to change some rules at the Security Exchange Commission. So yeah, there was some plans to change some rules in the financial market that would allow people to make a Bitcoin trust on exchange markets. But that did not go through. The proposal did not go through. The Bitcoin trust did not happen. People in the cryptocurrency community have been trying for quite a while now, and it hasn't happened. Ooh. Oh yeah, Scott Pruitt. Oh yeah, he said those things. Okay, so Scott Pruitt questioned. I mean, it should not be surprising that he said this, considering his record on the matter. But he said a lot of things that dispute established science on climate change. And hell, for the longest time, it was even the EPA's own position. I don't take that as a good sign. I mean, Scott Pruitt was not a good selection for the EPA. Well, if you want to try and address climate change anyway, if you don't give a fuck about it, he was an excellent choice. But if you want to try and actually do something about it, nah. Nah. I hope that eventually we can actually do stuff so countries like Kiribati won't. And yes, it's Kiribati, not Kiribati. Kiribati, not Kiribati. I hope that we can do it soon enough to where they don't go under the water. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. And yeah, those countries are already sinking. I mean, there were some people try to say, "Oh, but they were going to sink before." But yeah, the rate that at where they the rate at which they were sinking before was way slower than what it would be without climate change. I mean, for those of you in the United States, for those of us in the United States actually, and on continents and inland and those kinds of stuff, it might not matter at that much aside from, the weather. But for people on islands like the islands that make up Kiribati and other Pacific islands, they're going to lose their homes if we don't do anything about it. Now, I know it's a complicated issue, especially considering that, like, with the coal industry, and I know people are tempted to say, "Oh, fuck the people who work in the coal industry," but, like, really, that's not exactly the way to win over votes. I know it's easy to say things like that, but I don't think just forgetting about them is going to help us solve the problems. It will only cause more divisions. But we need to do something fast. Countries like Japan are trying to do it. India is also trying. India's put in some really strict regulations. I don't know if they're going to be enough. Like, for example, I believe they passed a regulation that basically said on certain days only odd number cars will be allowed to drive, or on certain days only even number cars will be allowed to drive. Even number license plate, and odd number license plates. Yeah, they actually did that. Did it work? I mean, it's probably not the best solution to the pollution problem. I mean, there's still a massive amount of other issues in India, but at least they're trying. Compare that to China. Oh my god, they're gonna be a pain in the ass to deal with, especially when it comes to climate change. China, according to official statistics from China, the government is helping to fix the problem, and China's pollution problem is starting to go away. Meanwhile, residents in Beijing continue to have to inhale worse and worse smog. So yeah, I hope you can understand why I don't trust the Chinese. Well, the Chinese government, not like the Chinese people. A lot of the time, the Chinese people are smart enough to see through this. Most of them have not been indoctrinated to the point where they will just blindly believe anything the government says. Not that the government doesn't try, but, you know. There are a few things that... There are a few minor things that I do have issues with, but most of the time it's not, like, the Chinese people at fault. It's the Chinese government, not the people. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. What else is there to talk about? Sorry, if you guys want me to talk about something, just let me know. It's lonely having only one other person in the chat. Ooh. Oh wow, the Otomo Gakuen controversy is still going strong. Well, actually, no, that's a controversy in Japan that's not going to go away for a while. For those of you who are not familiar, Otomo Gakuen was caught teaching its students and telling it to write the Kyoiku Chokugo, which is a document Japan made in before World War II, during the Meiji Restoration. Actually, I think it was right after the Meiji Restoration. That outlined their education. That outlined the goals of the education in Japan at the time. Critics, proponents of bringing it back, say that it is an expression of filial piety and that it's just moral values, while critics say that it is part of the reason that Japan, went down the imperialist path that it went down. I'm not an expert on it. Honestly, I'm not a fan of bringing it back. Some people in the Japanese government have said that we should bring it back. I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan of the idea. Even if it is, even if what the proponents say is true, and it is, just filial piety and other moral values that's being promoted in it. It's just something from that long ago. I don't think it should really apply I don't think it really applies in the modern day. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, hold on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. That is one controversy that won't go away. It's going to be a thorn in Prime Minister Abe's side for quite a while. I mean, holy shit, it's going to be his massive thorn in his side for a while. I don't know if it'll influence Japan's next elections any. I mean, it might not. Alright. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I think this is 15. Hold on. There we go. And this will be the last one for the day. Oh, come on. Hold on one moment. There we go. Come on. There we kind of. Sorry about this. I like to try and get the folds as close to perfect as I possibly can, which isn't always possible, but when I can, I like to try. Okay. So, this should be 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. Yeah, I'm going to call it a day after this. So, hi, cat. I don't know what you're thinking. You better not ruin this by pulling down my computer. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please like if you liked, share. Sharing is more important than liking. And I will see you guys Sunday, I believe. Maybe I might have other plans on Sunday that could possibly get in the way of this and push it to Monday. But I'll try to do this on Sunday, okay? Alright, I'll see you guys. I'll try Sunday, maybe Monday. Bye!